Hey, what's up everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to the conversation. So today I got a very serious video, but I think it's very important for NBA fans and sports fans as a whole. So the question is, will this mysterious illness that I can't really say the name because we don't want to get into issues with YouTube, so that's the reason why we're not explicitly saying what it is. So we're just gonna refer to it as as a mysterious illness, so to speak. Will it be a major disaster for the NBA moving forward? Because I think it's going to have some major ramifications on the league, and I definitely want to get into all of these different things with you guys in this video. So just sit back and bear with me while I just lay everything out for you guys. Now again, let me just quickly say, we just released the new DreamersPro podcast. You're going to find the link below. It's on Spotify. On this podcast, we're going to be covering a lot of exclusive content that we don't cover on our YouTube channel. So if you guys want to hear me talk about some other things in depth at a longer period of time, definitely check out the podcast and share it with some of your friends, because I think you guys are going to really enjoy some of the topics and discussions that I get into on the DreamersPro podcast. So make sure you guys check that out. The link will be in the description below. Now, the question is, you may be asking yourself, how will this affect the NBA? Well, it has the potential to affect the NBA in a massive way. To give you an example, there was a championship leagues game that was played in Italy, I believe it was, between Atlanta and another team that I can't quite put into place. And during that game, just imagine guys, for a soccer game, the arena was completely barren. It was totally empty. Fans were not allowed to attend the game. So just imagine watching a sporting event and there's no one in the crowd. You're just watching the players play, in this case on the pitch, on the soccer field. Now, in a recent article by the New York Post, LeBron James was posed with the question of potentially playing games when no one would show up. Would he be willing to play games like that? And this is the direct quote from what LeBron James said. LeBron went on to say to the New York Post, he said, "It's funny because when I was asked the question of, would you play with no fans, I had no idea it was actually a conversation going on behind closed doors about this particular." LeBron told a reporter at a Lakers practice, he says, "Obviously, I would be very disappointed in not having fans because that's why I play. My family, I play for my family and the fans. But you gotta listen to the people that are keeping track of what's going on. And if they feel like it's best for the safety of the players, safety for the franchise, safety for the league to mandate that, then we have to listen to them." Now, the four-time MVP also went on to say, he said, we play games without the fans? Nah, that's impossible. James said, I ain't playing if I got no fans in the crowd. That's who I play for. I play for my teammates. I play for the fans. That's what it's all about. So if you show up to an arena, he continued, and there ain't no fans in there, I ain't playing. They can do what they want to do. Now, these are powerful statements. Why? Because LeBron James is the face of the NBA. He is their biggest star, and the NBA is a growing sport. For example, to put that into context, the 2016-2000 NBA Finals had about 20 million viewers on TV that watched those games. So the NBA has a real potential problem, because if fans are no longer going to games, what does this do? It affects the revenues of the teams, because if teams are not making revenue from players, people going there and buying popcorn, buying tickets to go see the games, is going to drastically hit their revenue. Now, to put this all in perspective, the average NBA arena has a capacity of about 19,000 seats. So it can take about 19,000 seats. Now imagine if you're the owner of one of these teams and you're not one of the top teams like the Lakers, Knicks, or whomever it is that has this high net worth, that probably has a lot of money in retained earnings or whatever it is, then it's going to be really hard to be able to break even, because on a daily basis, you're going to be taking a loss. Why? Because you have maintenance costs, you have to maintain the arenas, you still have to pay salaries. Are you going to continue to pay salaries when no one is there for these people to execute their jobs for? What about the food stands, the concession stands? It's going to hit, the NBA, I'm sure, has a lot of partnership deals with a lot of vendors that serve food in their venues in these arenas. What's going to happen with that? Are they going to cut ties with them? Are they going to change their revenue split rates? No one really knows, but if this thing continues to spread, at a massive global scale. And a lot of governors in the United States are saying that, hey, listen, we're trying to find a way to really contain this thing. And a lot of them are still learning because these are governors, these are government state officials. These guys are not doctors or medical experts. So a lot of them, they're just pretty much in the dark, and they're getting new information and trying to process it every day and come up with solutions to keep their overall constituency safe, in this case, their states. And then on a federal level, how the president is going to manage all of that. And you can see how it's going to affect the NBA. Another way this may affect the NBA, which I'm not 100% sure on, you got to understand the NBA's second biggest market is China. And China is a complete no-go area right now because China, to their credit, they're doing a really good job of now containing the virus and making sure that it doesn't spread. But if this is where all of their fans are, I mean, if the NBA has a major proportion of its fans in China, you know, and travel is going to be banned, then at the off season, NBA players won't be able to travel. You got to think Nike and all of these corporations are also going to be affected because that's where their stars go and, you know, market their brand. NBA stars are very big in China, like James Harden, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and others. So if these guys can't travel anymore, then it's going to also really affect the revenues of the NBA. It's going to affect other major corporations like Nike that has a lot of sponsorship deals with a lot of these players. So it's a multi-layered issue that I think the NBA is dealing with. And now we're already beginning to hear whispers of the possibility of fans not being allowed to attend games, or fans just simply opting not to go to games because you don't want to increase the likelihood of you catching something from someone sitting next to you who may cough, or it may look a bit weird to see a bunch of people in an arena wearing masks. I don't know how that's going to play off, and I don't even know how comfortable players are going to be being in that type of situation. And I think that's what LeBron James is speaking to. The reason his statements are so poignant is because he's the face of the league. And if these words are coming from him, then it's something that a lot of upper level officials in the NBA, including the NBA commissioner, Adam Silver, is going to have to take inventory of and make sure that, you know, they're bearing all of these things in mind as the season progresses and as this thing continues to unfold. Now, to give you guys, you know, another situation, I recently traveled from London to Nigeria, and when I was traveling, I had my mask on, right? I was in the airport, I had my mask on at all times because I wasn't trying to take any chances. Now, and I wasn't surrounded by thousands of people. I was only surrounded by a few hundred people on a plane. But imagine being in an arena where thousands of people are coming in and you're going from state to state to state. Just imagine the thoughts that may be going through your mind, the doors you're going through, all of these different things. So maybe that's at the back of the mind of some of these NBA players.
And to make matters worse, to put things into perspective, Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz was recently diagnosed with this mysterious illness. And now we have to sit back and ask ourselves the question, where does the NBA go? Because remember, he has played at least 10 teams over the last, 2 weeks. And think about all of the players that he himself has come into contact with in that period, and think how this thing could just spread exponentially. So it's the reason why we're seeing the NBA take these drastic measures by suspending games indefinitely. We don't know when, you know, these games are going to pick up again, and I think it's a good thing, first of all, because now it allows us to put things in perspective. It gives the NBA time to test all their players and understand a plausible solution moving forward. Now, granted, the Golden State Warriors said that they were willing to play games in an empty arena, just to put that in perspective. They were willing to play games in an empty arena, and just before that was able to happen, you know, the postponement of games came out. So it's turning into be a really, really serious issue. Now, what I want to know from you guys is, do you think that the NBA will be able to contain this particular illness, this mysterious illness? And number two, I mean, what do you think they should do moving forward? And do you think that it's actually going to have a major, major impact on the financials, not just the NBA, but across the sports world as a whole? Again, if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure you hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Again, if you haven't followed us on our podcast, make sure you follow us on our podcast. We're going to link it in the description below. Again, you're going to be able to get exclusive content that I will not be discussing on YouTube, so you can definitely go there and check us out and give us your support. If you found this video to be useful or educational in any way, please try to pass it on to one of your friends that you think may benefit from it. Once again, this is Charles here from DreamersPro, wishing you guys an amazing day, and stay safe, and make sure you just take care of yourself. Have a great day. Peace.